All right. I'm going to give this a shot. I have no idea how well this is actually going to work because I've never actually tried to record and stream OBS with Fruity Loops. Every time I've done it, there was always horrible lag. We'll try it today. But let's see. Will this? Hey, good. It's not bad. Let's see how well this lasts. All right. I kind of want to make music for the attract mode and the return from attract today. So as you can see, I kind of aimed this camera more on the piano M audio keyboard this time. And yeah. So for the attract mode, I want it to be a little bit more somber to kind of build up as you're waiting. And from the return to game mode, I think I want it to be a little bit more driven. Excuse me. So I do have so this is Plunger version 1. If I open Plunger version 2, I almost want this to be this or a similar start to what the return is, but maybe with more drums going. So if I hide that and if I hide that. So these strings here. So that kind of thing I think I want in there for the return. I for the plunger I have these weird drums and I don't really want that. This won't make sense for the return, right? But it makes more sense for in there. So maybe it's just that with like a standard drum like boom 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 boom. I have no idea. I'm really kind of spitballing some of this. So I have been working on this music for a couple weeks now, and I do have a lot of the main theme musics and plunger musics and everything. So I have these things kind of set up. So I have this tom, but more specifically the kick. This is like a multi uh, layered kick. I have your typical Lin kick, which is this, and then I have this other whatever the hell kick this is on top of it. So there's the Lin, there's the other one, and then combined, it's got kind of an interesting hit, or like a basketball almost. Um, so if I add a new pattern, and I built this plunger music off of kind of some of the main themes and things, so I could keep the what you call it sample the set of samples, the sound font. That's the word I was looking for. So I keep the sound font the same. So let's create a pattern here. This is going to be a simple singular drum beat like that. That's too low, too slow. And these now the thing with this is it is right on the beat, but some of this is not like this thing right here. This where is it? Is it this PWM thing? That's not exactly on the beat, so when it shifts, it's kind of awkward. Let me mute this for a second, just make sure the strings all work fine. Okay, the strings have a little bit of a delay, which is not ideal. Which means I need to start them a second earlier. So maybe one little bar earlier. And then extend them all extra a little bit. A little bit better. Oh, I didn't even modify this one. I'm dumb. This one needs to pull forward a little bit too. Yeah, all right. By pulling it forward a little bit forward, a little earlier, that is giving the strings time to kind of build up. These strings are is this layer here, which has a whole bunch of these strings. You can see 1, 2, 3. There's like 5 layers of strings. This uses BBC orchestra samples that I got. This is a free sample set you can get, and each one of these strings is a slightly different string. So, like for instance, this one is the. It should say somewhere. Oh, the violas. Whereas the other one that I just had is the violin 2. This is the violin 1, and they're all like different positions on the keyboard, or the different high and low notes. So like this one right here, this is the bass, which I don't have all that loud. I can probably bump that volume up a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, starting these a little bit sooner lines it up with the drum a little bit more. So I wonder if that will make it sound better even with this thing now. Yeah, it does. Okay, so I can leave that on. And I probably want want this pattern to be a little bit more organic. So we have 4 sets of these, 2, 3, 3. And we can like double that there. We can, in this middle here, I can probably do something like that. So now in the middle, it's going to do a little weird twiddly thingy, and at the end it will as well. Yeah. Of that, I do like this little bounce here. So that was 2, 1 like this. The 1, 2, 3. So for that one, for this earlier one, I probably don't want that. Maybe if I skip a beat. Maybe if I offset that beat there. Really, it's kind of just how it sounds. Yeah, I don't like that. Unless I do earlier beat, so it has a weird little double beat here. No, that's too common. All right, I'm gonna leave this more uniform here, and it's gonna just have that double beat at the end. Maybe. So I have the snare. That's not the snare. Where's my snare? It's muted. Okay. What's this gonna do? No, I don't like that. The middle is right here, so that'll be uniform. What does it sound like? Actually, if I delay that, maybe like this. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. Let's go to this thing. This has a bunch of drums, and I can kind of play with this a little bit. Maybe something like that. Let's see if I can get that in. Dun, dooch, dun, dun. Yeah, so let's try this. No, gotta be delayed over there. Like that. Oh, okay, so like that. Maybe. Whoops. Dun, dooch, dun, dun. Middle starts here. Should delay a little bit more. Double like that. Whoops. Oh, I do want this here. There we go. Yeah, that's the pattern I'm looking for. All right. Let's repeat that over on this side. So done this. Skip to here. Done. And done. How does this work? Wait. 1, 2, there's 5 there. 5 there's. Then that. And oh, 3. Well, that's an interesting pattern. Okay. Yeah, and then that, instead of doing 3, well, I do need 3. I can do that. Yeah, okay. That's got a little bit of a dual beat. Now this one has this like double down. So I don't know. I don't think I want the same exact pattern for this. So let's copy. Come on. Really? Thank you. Let's copy this. Let's make a new drum set. Let's paste this in here. This will be the next set. And so now I'm going to mark kind of where these downbeats are. I think it's here, and I think it's here. Right? Yep, okay. So that's where those downbeats are. In this case, what would make sense? Oops. Come on. I had to move that back. Not what I want. The downbeat right here. So this is the first. Nope. This is the second downbeat. Yeah, I don't want that because the downbeat is here. Downbeat is there. Whoa, that's ugly. What do I want this to sound like? Let's go back to this. Where's that pattern? This one. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, I think I want a weird triple beat right into this. Right into this. And then maybe this. And another triple beat into this. And something like that. And this downbeat, and just like this. I'm just setting up beat patterns right now just to see if I can make something that makes sense. Alright, let's get rid of all of this stuff because I don't need it repeating like that. It is going to do like one more repeat. Actually, it'll just loop back to the beginning. Never mind. I want to... I don't like this. That's way too uniform for my liking. No, and I definitely don't like that. Do. Grumble. So this would normally be this here and then the hit. Maybe if I do that. No, that's way off beat. Mhm. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's really weird. I don't have any kind of hit right now. That's for sure. I don't have any symbol in this either. A crash in here. Clap. I don't see crash. Rock. Yeah, okay, here's some crashes. You'll probably lower one like this, right? Why are you only playing one sample at a time? What's the... Yeah, okay. So I want to double it with C4 and F4. That sounds pretty good. Let's do that. Let me move you up. No. So this is going to be on its own separate pattern out of this, since this needs to occur right on the loop. So I'll need to make another pattern. I'll put the pattern right at the end here. grab this, I'll duplicate it here. The loop point will be over here. Well, this isn't going to loop, is it? Because this is just at the end of the game. So it's really going to be this. It's going to do the crash. And then it'll basically fade out along there. Drums and percussion need to go up here. This is not toms. This is strings and orchestra. This is... I guess I can call this sound effects. Alright, so I said C4 and F4. Yeah. Piano. Doesn't need to be this loud. C4, F4. Oh, this is way out of the way. Alright, now why is this cutting off too soon? What is happening with this? Oh no, no, that should be fine. Yeah, alright. While I'm at it, let's change the panning on this a little bit. Note, pan. So let's make this higher one, this side, this lower one more down here. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. And I can lower the channel a little bit more because it doesn't need to be that loud. That's better. That's more leveled. Alright, so the whole end of game song. So basically, when the game is over, you've put your initials. I should make something for the initials, shouldn't I? So you put your initials in if you need to put your initials in, if you're not logged into a scorebit or anything like that. And then you come back to the top 10 list, and this is what starts playing. All right. Now I do have this whistly thing here that this is part of the whatchamacallit mode. The secondary plunger mode probably do something slightly different, but it's a similar idea. But I don't want that exact pattern because, like I said, that is used in the plunger mode. Oh yeah, I could do something like that. So for the time being, let's make this loop right here. Obviously, like I said, this is not going to be the case ultimately. But just so I can play and kind of figure out what the whistly sound would be. Because it would happen right after the crash. Maybe something like that. So it's slightly different from the plunger, but that note obviously doesn't work. Unless I want to modify the chord a little bit right there, which I could modify the chord, and that would be kind of interesting, right? What other sounds do I have in here? No. Doesn't go this high. That actually might be a no. This down here is the tuba. What if? Which one is this one? This is. Oh, that's the tuba. That's neat. What about clarinet? I mean that could work too. What is this on? This is on 4. It's a chip. I like the sound of this, but this might not be loud enough. I mean, maybe it doesn't need anything? Okay. That is not going to be the right sound. Oh, right, I have this thing. If I double this with the flute, or with the... I don't have a pan flute on this one. That's in one of my other sound fonts. Oh, that's the glass. I don't know. Maybe this is good enough for the post music thing, but I do feel as though I need that whistle. So I'm gonna record a little something with this. And if I don't like it later on, I can always just mute it. So that I'll give this another crash. Do this. That way it extends out so the whistle has time to play, and then it'll end. Oh, that's not the right one. I want whistle. Yeah, so that'll be the tune for this. And I recorded that in the wrong one. Anyways, I can cut that. I can then put that in there. That's the right one. Okay. All right, and everything's kind of unbeat, so I can kind of clean this up. I do not want that to be offset like that in the panning. So let's go to velocity. Now, for the whistle, the higher it goes, like the softer I need to, you can see I kind of did that with my hand, because it gets really piercing if it's too loud when it's up there. Whoops. Stop that. Double click this thing, thank you. Let's start at 0. This is going to go for three bars here. This is going to go away. This is going to go for one bar. Why were you like that? I don't know. Back to 0. And I'll adjust the volumes again in a minute. Just want to get that goes down a little bit. Kinda. This is the one that's really important to get. This is the one that's really important to kind of pull the volume down a little bit. And this is really just cleaning up all these notes that I played. In something like this, I don't need organicness. Like, sometimes I won't clean the notes up because it sounds better if the notes aren't perfectly played right on beat. But it's something like this, this little whistly thing. And I am going to make this quiet, and it's just going to kind of become quiet. So it kind of fades away a little bit. Too loud. Yeah, so these two things are really piercing, so that's why I pulled the volume down on that. Actually, that's kind of interesting. So if I make the second beat the first beat, I can probably shrink this down and get the the theme to come in a little bit earlier, which would be ideal. Because again, this is post gameplay. I don't want this to last forever. I want it to last just long enough to do the top 10 and the top 30, and then potentially fade away into the actual attract mode theme within one cycle of the attract mode, depending on whatever that means. So this song right now is about 30 seconds long, because this is all going to fade out when I finally export this. And this doesn't exist. Actually, what I can do this little interlude early. So I can do an early first interlude and an early second interlude right here. That doesn't make sense like that. It will make more sense if I then take the standard beat and make the standard beat first, I think. Yeah, that made more sense. And then it's just going to fade out right here. And I'll give it one more bar because I don't want it to go into the... Excuse me. I don't want it to go into the final section, per se. Okay. I think this is the post-game save as. Post gameplay BGM. So I'm kind of happy with that. I should probably do a whatchamacallit, a high score theme. I'm not sure what I want that to be. Do I like? It can be something a little bit more lighthearted type of thing. Like, so if one of the chords I have is this, but if I transpose that up here and put a C sharp in there, it has a lighter chord. What is this, a seventh or something? I don't know. That's kind of an interesting chord for maybe entry, name entry. But yeah, if you notice, because the game's chords is what is this, a C minor or something? No, that's a C minor. This is a C. This is a F minor. So it's an F minor and a E, or no, a G major. So F minor, G, those are the two main chords on this thing. And that's kind of what everything kind of plays off of. Oops. You know, it's just those two chords really. And sometimes as I said, I just change where the notes are, so I have that. This is also technically the F, that same F minor. You know, I either go up or I go down with that one. So what I could do, or so if I take the this transpose chord, you know, with the G sharp, I mean it's C sharp, and the other chord is this one, and you know the G sharp, C sharp is here. So if I just use a E, oops, not what I wanted. It has that same kind of rubbing chord. So I could use those two chords for the name entry somehow. Uh, that's this. Actually kind of interesting using these two chords. I have no idea what this chord is. Maybe a sus chord or something, I have no idea. But if I maybe that set of chords? But what could I use that for in name entry though? Um, I definitely want to use this thing in there. Um, maybe I don't use strings. Maybe I use the drop bar. I don't like that. Hmm. See, this is what makes music take so long. Just trying to figure out what you want it to sound like. Go back to piano. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Maybe that could be interesting for name entry. Is it the name entry only lasts for 30 seconds? At least the way I usually have it set up. And that still has the main theme in it, right? It still has. So that's the theme of it. But with this set of chords, yeah, so instead of. Like that. So if I just use these strings, if I just use that, that's not the right strings to use. It is definitely. That is definitely not the. Okay, I this with strings I need to go low. It needs to end somehow. This is always asking a question, and there's never any answer. Is that the answer? No, because this supposed to like be this. Yeah, no, I don't know how to give it an answer. Another question. Yeah, so like with music, you also kind of want call and response, question and answer type of thing, and that's what I'm trying to figure out right now because I have a good couple questions, which is, you know, nope, this and this, but then I kind of want it to step down, but not like that. Like I need this to go there. So it basically does um yeah, I don't know how to get it there. You know, so that's the direction I want it to go. Oh, here it is. So yeah, kind of like that. Okay. So what would be the full set of chords then for this? It would be those. It goes from here. Okay. Yep. Okay, yeah, it goes to go from here right to here. All right. So if I turn these into chords somehow, get rid of all this. Maybe I should try it with this. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. This could work okay. Actually, maybe if I make it just a pattern that uses this harp. And then I layer a couple things on there. I mean, this is probably not the right sound to use for this, to be honest. I'm going to give it a shot for now, and then I can always change how this works. Where's my... It'll be... Wait. I don't think that's the right one either. That doesn't bend enough. I want more of a bend. Maybe if I had a little bit of a beat to this, it'll sound a little bit better. I don't want it to just be like this ethereal thing. Call that a pad. Why not? Do like something like this. This is a dumb little beat, but at least it's kind of in there. That's gonna change volume a little bit, like that. That's maybe that baseline is what this needs. Wait a minute. Where's the baseline? Actually kind of interesting. How about I double this? And 0 pitch up. That's kind of interesting. Alright, let's layer this back on for a second. Pull that down. That's actually kind of interesting. I like that. Maybe this will work. I think this will work. Let's add this drum in too. Because this that drum was kind of interesting. That drum started how? Okay, so right on that last sound, basically. Yeah, so right here. Hope that's not right. There's definitely that beat though. Okay, so then there. Oh, it's the three space again. There it is. All right. And I want this kick to be a little lower. This might work. Needs to be a little louder. And I'm very offbeat. Jesus. So that is this. That's an interesting bass line. That's what that, okay. I started way off beat on that, so that's not gonna work. That's also one of those notes. Okay, so that's interesting. So this note that's great. Okay. That's really weird because I'm so used to like using that note. I still think I want to use the whistle on this part though, because I think that makes the most sense. I like the whistle. I don't know. well, I think this is getting somewhere that I want. Save this as name entry. What time is it? It's almost. All right. Well, I haven't really done anything with the attract mode music yet. I have started a little something with the general attract. I'm not quite sure I like it, or at least I kind of like it, but it's definitely not fully in the direction I want it to be. So I like that, but it needs to blend into the main theme, which is what I kind of did over here, but I don't. No, I did not blend that in the main theme there. But right here is where I kind of want to blend into the main theme. Because this end goes back down, like. But I also don't really know what the attract mode is going to look like yet. So I also question, should I even bother doing the attract mode? Because I kind of know what the name entry would be, what the post game would be. Um, yeah, so I might need to wait a little bit until I design the attract mode a little bit more. But I got a little bit more done, I guess. So the post game background music, this I think I'm kind of happy with. So that's good. And I do like that crash sound. I need to add that into the main music at some point. That was Crash 9. I kind of want to. That's on that's on 4 with a not quite all the way up there. Yeah, I'm probably going to add this into the main or into the secondary background music or secondary gameplay music, I mean, a bit because I do like that crash. I don't have a crash in the gameplay music yet. That probably should go there. Anyways, let's export this wave file. Post gameplay BGM, save, cut remainder. Then I will load up Gold Wave. And load up that track. I need to normalize the audio to a loudness. I usually set 17 or negative 17 lufs is the loudness on these things. Where is it? Repo. Post game gameplay, yeah, alright. Oh, I'm not going to be able to change the loudness at all on this, am I? Because it's already. Actually, it might already be too loud. I just need to shrink it. Volume. Loudness. Ooh, it's negative 13. Yeah, I want this. Negative 17. Okay, that's better. Alright, and the last section over here. Need to figure out where. So starting there, it should affect volume fade out. So this is going to be a I don't know, 7-8 second fade out. Yeah, all right. So that works. Yeah, it's about 30 seconds. That's more than enough time for it to show the whatchamacallit, the top 10, the top 30, and a couple of the initial splash screens I usually have in these things. We'll save that. And yeah, all right. I hope y'all kind of got something out of this stream. I don't know how often I'll do music streams because a lot of it is kind of boring, playing the same thing over and 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 over again, kind of fiddling around with, does this sound good? Does this sound good? And just twiddling around with the keyboard, the piano and keyboard and different notes and things to come up with something. Um, Sometimes it takes many, many, many hours to even come up with a thing. I did have themes already kind of defined, so it made it easier. But yeah, yeah, I don't know how often I'll do music streams. I am gonna do a pinball dev stream in another day or two right after Thanksgiving because I do need to get stuff sent to Suncut Send sooner than later, so I can get it for a week and a half from now. So I will see everybody on the flip side. Bye.